for attending the webinar with me, Maxim Suvorov. He represents LogMeIn company, and he will tell about LogMeIn solutions, and we'll start from the short video about LogMeIn company.
Thank you, Alexander.
So here we are, together in a future we never could have imagined. But in the midst of all this change, what are we learning? Maybe it's that distance actually has the potential to bring us closer. Maybe we're learning that work and ideas can flow from anywhere, from anyone. And productivity isn't always measured in hours sitting at just one desk. But in this time of change, there's an opportunity to embrace the greater good too. Because the boundaries of space and walls, they're no match for human ingenuity. Maybe we're learning something that we knew all along, that change is never easy. But when we come together as a team, a company, a community, that's when great things happen. From people staying connected, safe, and secure, to teams working together, to making the seemingly impossible possible. There are millions of stories a day just like this, and they are why we exist. We're LogMeIn, the work from anywhere company. And right now, all over the world, we're helping businesses, big and small, municipalities, nonprofits, healthcare organizations, and schools stay productive, resilient, safe, and connected.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. My name is Maxim Suvorov, and I am the Channel Account Manager here at LogMeIn. I work closely with our partner Softprom, who have organized this webinar to deliver our products across Poland and beyond. The purpose of today's presentation is to tell you more about LogMeIn as a company, our products, and how we can help you work efficiently and securely from pretty much anywhere. I will begin by giving a short introduction into the company, then I will talk about our products, explaining what each solution can help you achieve, and providing some short demonstrations where needed. I will then move on to providing some examples where we have already helped customers and are helping them achieve their goals and business mission. We will end with a Q&A and a short word from our organizer, Softprom. So let's begin. So, LogMeIn, who are we exactly? Well, to put it simply, we are the work from anywhere company. We help businesses of all shapes and sizes to empower business continuity in the face of disruptions, keeping your teams and operations running. Enable the new normal remote and flex work policies, keeping your employees happier, safer, and more productive. Maximize your business impact by accelerating your ability to hit your sustainability goals and while reducing costs. And we make all of this possible with products that are secure, flexible, and built to win over users by the hundreds, thousands, and even millions. We were founded in 2003, and since then, our mission has been to unlock the potential of the modern workforce. To us, that has always meant helping people and businesses to do their best work simply and securely on any device, from any location, and at any time. Since originally setting out to bridge locations through technology, LogMeIn has become one of the world's largest software as a solution companies with 30 million active users, more than 3,500 global employees, over $1.3 billion in annual revenue, and more than 2 million customers in 190 countries who use our software as an essential part of their daily lives. And over the past 2 decades, our category-defining products have made it possible for millions of people and companies around the world to embrace what were once revolutionary concepts of flex working and remote working. Fast forward to today, what we are seeing is not a remote experiment, but a dramatic acceleration of movement that was already well underway, the next big phase in a workplace revolution. Make no mistake, your employee and customer expectations have changed forever, with the vast majority of employees saying that they want this newfound flexibility to continue well after COVID is over. This means going forward, virtually every company will need to figure out how to solve for how you connect employees to one another and to your customers so they can communicate and collaborate regardless of location. How you serve digital savvy customers who've become accustomed to safer, faster, and more convenient ways of engaging with businesses. How you empower IT teams and your help desk to support this increasingly remote workforce and customer base. And how you secure a work from anywhere workforce now working across a number of networks, locations, and devices. And these are the 4 areas where we're investing and innovating to help our customers: collaboration, engagement, support, and security. From our flagship GoTo Unified Communication and Collaboration Suite, which brings meeting, voice, video, room, and virtual event capabilities together in a modern cloud-based platform, capabilities that help you not only enable remote and flex workers, but also help you empower sales, customer care, and marketing teams to reimagine how they attract, engage, and serve customers. To our renowned remote access and support solutions like LogMeIn Pro, GoToMeeting Central, Rescue, and GoToAssist that give IT teams the ability to access, manage, and support the devices and apps used by remote teams and even remote customers. To our LastPass Identity and Access Management Suite, which helps businesses secure their work from anywhere workforces through password management, single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, and more. It is a comprehensive portfolio of solutions with common DNA, products that feature a modern, super simple user experience, are as easy to deploy as they are to use, all the while featuring the security and control that IT teams demand. But we believe that helping customers embrace the work from anywhere era requires more than just great technology. It requires partnership. And that's why we're committed to helping our customers build a productive, safe, and sustainable workforce through onboarding and training, easier management and administration of your account through a single trusted point of contact, 24/7 customer support, and discounts and multi-product bundles that deliver significant savings. In unified communication and collaboration, our GoTo portfolio now powers real-time collaboration for nearly 30 million users. That's 1.5 billion audio minutes and 8 million meetings each and every month. Professional meetings deserve a professional solution. That's GoToMeeting, simple, reliable, and fast. An example of GoToMeeting's reliability would be the months of March, April, and May last year, the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. If we look at downdetector.com, an independent third-party site, we will see that GoToMeeting reported only 8 performance issues. If we compare this to our closest competitor, Zoom, who reported almost 80, our customers can depend on GoToMeeting in their times of need. Also, with security being our top priority, you won't find any embarrassing news stories surrounding the security of our product. GoToWebinar, the tool being used to run this very webinar, provides all the features required to run a virtual webinar, from the ability to share your screen to advanced reporting and analytics, enabling you to keep track of user behavior as well as attendee attention rates. After this webinar, I will be able to see how many people listened, whether they had me playing in the background while on another web page, and much more. Finally, we have GoToTraining, which is primarily built to have a virtual classroom experience, with features such as breakout rooms, polls, tests, and evaluations, allowing for interactive engagement in a remote learning environment. I will give you a moment to familiarize yourselves with all of the features each solution has to offer. I will now give an overview of our LogMeIn Rescue remote support tool. So I wanted to start off with a scenario. Let's imagine you have a user who is currently working from home and they have an issue with their computer. So how do you support them when you, as the IT support consultant, are in a different building, different city, perhaps even a different country? There are two types of support you can provide. One is reactive support. This is where a problem occurs and you're reacting to try and fix this problem. This is exactly the type of support Rescue provides. The other would be proactive support, which you can do with our central tool, but we'll cover this later on. So, back to our scenario. User is working remotely, user has a problem, I need to remote onto user machine to fix the issue. But often in these scenarios, the user does not have the admin credentials necessary to run an installation, nor is there an option to share these credentials. This is where Rescue comes in. Rescue is agentless, meaning there's no need to install anything and therefore no need for any admin credentials on the end user machine. Rescue also allows for background access on the end user machine, meaning you can support the end user without disturbing their workflow. Rescue also allows for communication between technicians. Our aim is to get the support query resolved in the first call. The best way to do this is to be able to invite other technicians to the support session, allowing for quicker and more successful resolution times. So let's take a look at a quick demonstration of how Rescue works. So on the left-hand side, we have the customer screen here, and on the right-hand side, we have the agent screen. So first, to connect to the customer machine, I must provide the customer with a PIN. And then I can begin the download process. So what will happen is Rescue will download a applet onto the customer machine. This will go into the customer's temporary files, meaning that there is no need to enter any admin credentials as the applet is only being installed into the temp files. Once the applet is installed, we can open up the applet and we can begin the support process. Okay, and just like that, we are now connected to our customer and we begin the first stage of the process, which would be the chat section. Now, also, Rescue provides us with background access, meaning we are not disturbing the customer, as I mentioned previously, and they can carry on doing their work. We can also see some data and brief information about the machine, such as memory, RAM, and other items as well. Using this information, we can identify what the issue may be that the customer is experiencing without actually having to remote onto the customer machine. So as you can see here, I've pulled up the data on the customer machine, and already I have a lot of information that I can view there. I can also view information on the various different processes. I can run scripts as well. So I can run PowerShell scripts that are pre-approved by my admin. And I can also launch File Manager, which will allow me to do file transfer onto the customer's machine. Now, if need be, I can remote onto the customer machine. So there's two remote things I can do. So I can either do remote view. So this is where I can just view the customer machine. I can't actually control it at the moment, but I can view it. I can, make pointers to the customer. Hey, can you click here? So if the issue can be resolved by remote view, we can do that as well. Or we can do a remote control. Yeah, so here I can walk the customer through the potential fix by just doing remote view. And if that isn't sufficient, we can do remote control as well. Now, let's say I need to invite some other agent to the session as well. Let's say I can't fix the issue by myself. I'm just a level 1 support person, so I need to invite someone else to the session. Let's say a level 2, a more senior technician. I can't do that. And they will be invited to the session. They can join and they can see what we're seeing as well. Or I can also invite an external technician. So let's say I'm working with a vendor of a specific solution, or I'm working with an external support technician that I've employed. I can also invite them to the session as well to assist me in the fix. Now, what Rescue does as well, it makes your customer feel a lot more secure, because throughout the process, the technician has to ask permission from the customer. So if I want to launch remote view, or if I want to launch remote control, I have to request permission from the customer, and the customer has to accept. Now, all of the sessions can be recorded as well, so you have that oversight as well, so you can get the recordings, whether you want to keep that for auditing purposes, or whether you want to keep that for future training sessions. Okay, so that covers the demonstration of the Rescue product. So let's move on to the next stage, which is Rescue Lens. So Rescue isn't just for software support. You can also use our Rescue product for hardware support, which is our Rescue Lens product. So let's move on to our Rescue Lens product demonstration. So on the left-hand side here, we have the technician screen, and on the right-hand side, we have the customer screen. So what you can basically do with the Rescue Lens is you can use the customer's phone as your eyes and ears. So the customer can connect Rescue on their phone, and you can basically use the camera and see what the customer is seeing. So in this case, the customer has a hardware issue with their computer. Sorry, 1 second. Just have an issue with my PowerPoint. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so as I said, customer phone on the right-hand side and technician console on the left there. So as you can see, the technician can see what the customer is seeing. So we can take a look at their computer to see what the issue might be. So this whole time we can talk to the customer, obviously through their phone, and we can take a look at the modem, which is what is causing the issue. We can pause the video, and we can use the draw tool to outline what the issue is. So in this case, I believe it's a faulty cable. So we can outline that to our customer, and we can explain to them what the issue is. So the customer is seeing what the technician is drawing, and we're supporting them in real time by talking them through the fix. There we go. And the customer can resolve the issue there by properly connecting the cable. And that's it. So Rescue allows for remote software support, while Rescue Live Lens provides for remote hardware support. This saves you time and money without actually having to be physically present at the location, and increases customer satisfaction by allowing for fast, secure, and more efficient support. Now, we have just gone over how to do software support and hardware support. But what if it's neither? What if I need to guide a user through filling out an online application? This is where our co-browsing solution, Rescue Live Guide, comes in. So let's use another scenario. Let's say I'm a customer trying to book a hotel on a website, but it's just not working. You know, I'm trying to enter my details, things aren't happening, the web page is crashing, or you know, it says you've missed a detail, or perhaps I'm just not very tech savvy. You know, perhaps I just don't understand where I need to put something in, or it could be a language difficulty. You know, I might have a basic understanding of the particular language that I have to fill in, and I'm just not able to process the application. So I'm having issues booking this hotel, so I've called up the support number and we've launched the Rescue Live Guide tool for the support technician to guide me through the process. So we've got the customer screen on the left-hand side, and we've also got the technician screen on the right-hand side. So let's provide a short demonstration. So this is a co-browse solution. So we are basically co-browsing, meaning we're both seeing each other's screen. The technician can see the customer screen and I can see the technician screen. So we're both seeing the same thing. Again, it's the same connection process. We have to enter a PIN and then the customer has to start the session. So here the technician can see what the customer can see. And the support representative can use his mouse to outline to the customer what he needs to click on and press on, etc. So we're just walking the customer through the process of how to make the booking. Obviously, we have the drawing tools there, so we can tell the customer, I need you to enter this information here. You can obviously delete the instructions as well. And let's say the customer says, oh, I found a voucher code on this web page. Can I use it on the customer machine? And you know, let's say the voucher is on Groupon or something. We can see that into the booking process. The customer session at any time they want. So if they don't feel secure, or they need to end the session for whatever. Okay, so let's continue with our booking. Now we're going on to the payment. Okay, so obviously this information is sensitive. So as you can see, the credit card number is grayed out. So only the customer can see the credit card information, not the support technician. So this provides a level of security. Now, as soon as the customer clicks on the credit card information, the session will be paused for the technician. So the technician cannot see these details that the customer is entering. Obviously, that adds a very good level of security as well. Okay, so let's move on from this. So to recap, what CoBrowse is code-free deployment, meaning that you don't need to add any code onto your website. So pretty much the customer can just click a link on your website if they're having an issue filling out a form, etc. So you just add that in. It is simple and instant connection. Again, there's no downloads necessary. And it connects the customer and the agent through a third-party browser in the cloud and not on the customer's device. So again, there's that extra added level of security when it comes to the connection. You can also record the sessions as well for security and auditing purposes, and also for training purposes if you need to train your agents on how to walk the customer through the process. So I will use an actual real-life example of a client that I sold this solution to. So the client was UCAS, which is the education board in the UK responsible for processing university applications. Now, I myself have applied to university. and it is a very long and tedious process. There's a lot of forms you have to fill out, a lot of information that you have to provide, and a lot of the time it's quite difficult, because obviously when you're you're at that age, you're not necessarily aware of all of the documentation that you need to provide, so often you need someone else's assistance. And how UCAS used to do that in the past is you had to call them up, and you had to explain the situation to the agent on the other side. So obviously it was quite difficult to support in that way, because on the phone you can only hear, you can't actually see what the student is seeing. So we pitched Cobrowse to UCAS, and they loved the idea, the fact that the agent can see what the student is seeing. They can walk them through the whole entire process. They can tell them, right, you need this type of document for this section, you need this type of information for this section. So UCAS actually quite heavily invested in Rescue Life Guide, which is that Cobrowse solution. So moving on then. Now we have LogMeIn Central. So this is our proactive remote monitoring and management support tool. LogMeIn Central is an agent-based tool, so unlike Rescue, it does require installation. Central allows you to manage all of your machines, monitor for any faults, and if you need, be remote onto the machines all in one package. So why do you need a remote monitoring and management tool, you may be asking? Well, it increases productivity. So using Central, you can automate routine tasks, and you can get your IT team to focus on the more important tasks, making your IT team a lot more efficient, and once again, saving you money there on the cost saving side. It also saves you time, so you can manage and troubleshoot machines to eliminate desk visits, manual installs, and waiting for machines to be unmanned. So you can obviously, Central also does give you that background access as well. So once again, you can remote onto the machine without disturbing the end user. And obviously you can run automated updates. You can schedule them to take place when the machine isn't being used. So let's say from 5 p.m. to, I don't know, 6 a.m. the next morning, you could run all of the updates necessary on that machine, so you can automate that task. You can reduce endpoint related risks, so you gain visibility into endpoint health. And you can also see the kind of antivirus status to make sure all of that is updated and your machine is fully protected. And there's a quick ROI, so return on investment with Central. So it's very quick deployment. Training, we supply all the training materials you need, and again, it's built with that usability in mind. So it's very easy to start using Central and get that off the ground. Okay, so again, let's move on to a short demonstration of Central. So this is the technician screen, what the technician sees. So the advantage of having this as agent-based, so having it installed on the end user machine, is the fact that the actual technician console can be agentless. So this means me as a technician, I can just log on via the website, and already I have access to all of the machines that I need to look after. So here I have the various different machines grouped. I can launch one-to-many task manager. I can set up plans for various different tasks and attribute them to the groups. So let's say I want to clear out some temp files. So I can arrange that through the one-to-many tasks. I can set up the plan, so clean the machine for maintenance, and I can schedule the plan. So let's say I want to do it, I don't know, every week at a certain time on a certain day. So at that time, on that day, my machines will be cleaned automatically through the one-to-many task manager. I can also run application updates. So this will run automatic updates. I can select various different machines that I need to run the updates on. I can see what the updates are. I can run just some of the updates, or I can run all of the updates. And I can also run Windows updates as well. So not just the application updates themselves, I can run the whole system kind of update itself. So here I can view the various different system updates that need to happen. And I can set the kind of restart times if need be. Now, I also have oversight of my antivirus as well, so I can view the status of my antivirus. I can see the kind of security of my antivirus, whether it's up to date. I can see the various different policies I have set, the last time it was scanned, and whether the antivirus is functioning. So as you can see here, that will alert me that that antivirus will require some action, and as I can see that antivirus is disabled. So I need to do something to bring that antivirus back online. So let's say now I've seen that the antivirus is down. I want to actually remote onto the machine to see why that might be. So again, we can use background access. So let's say this is the machine. I need to remote onto it. Before I can do that, I will need to provide some admin credentials, just to confirm that I am who I say I am. It just takes a couple of seconds. And just like that, I'm remoted onto the customer machine. And once again, through the background access, I can see kind of a snapshot of the machine itself. So I can see like memory, RAM, various other different sections of the machine as well, and the processors too. So here I can see what's running. I can enter command prompts. Yeah, so as you can see, it's very easy to just remote onto that machine and do a fix where required. So Central is our proactive tool. So what I mean by proactive is whereas Rescue is a reactive tool, so a problem occurs, the customer contacts you, they need the problem fixed, you remote onto their machine, you work with the customer to fix the issue. Now, Central is a proactive tool. So proactive means you are basically anticipating the problem and you are proactively doing something to ensure that that problem never occurs. So let's use another example. Let's say, let's use a very, very basic example. Let's say the memory on the machine is getting too full. So I can put in a command that will basically say, once the memory goes past a certain point, I want these files to be deleted automatically, and Central will do that for me. So once that reaches that point, Central will remove those files and free up some space on my machine. So that is just a very basic command, but obviously you can run a lot more advanced commands as well. We can also set up something called self-healing alerts. So let's say my antivirus goes out of date and I need to update it. So again, we can set up an alert that will inform us that that antivirus has gone out of date, and we can set up a self-healing alert so that antivirus will automatically be updated through Central. So again, that's a very basic example, but there is much more that you can do with the Central tool. Okay, so moving on from here. So now we'll move on to our third and final product that I wanted to show you today. So this is LastPass. So what is LastPass exactly? Well, LastPass is, in simple terms, is the last password you will ever have to remember. So let's talk about password hygiene. So we see, many businesses invest a lot of time and money into their security environments, but many also ignore the weakest part of their environment, which is the human element. So let's face it, people are naturally lazy and will not take extra necessary precautions to increase security. I mean, I've certainly been guilty of this. I'm sure some of you have also been guilty of this, where we reuse a single password for multiple websites. We might write down the password on a sticky note and stick it on our machine, or we might have an Excel document with all of the passwords we've ever used for whatever sites. So obviously that's not secure at all, because if you're using a single password for everything, once someone gets a hold of that password, they've got access to all of your information and all of the sites you use. So obviously the human element is the weakest part of that security. So you can have the best security infrastructure money can buy, but essentially if you've got a human that's giving away your passwords, your security infrastructure is pretty much useless. So LastPass is designed to target the human element of the security chain. So LastPass gives you the control that you need to allow your users to safely store the passwords they need, set up single sign-on for application, and allows you to control how and what your users use. So basically, what LastPass is about is influencing human behavior and improving password hygiene to increase that security there. So the main objective of LastPass is to have every user within your organization with excellent password hygiene. So LastPass is a cloud-based solution, but we operate on a zero-knowledge security model. So yes, we do store your passwords, but they are AES-56 encrypted before they actually enter our servers. So essentially all we see is a bunch of letters and numbers. We don't actually have access to any of that information. All of that is encrypted locally on your machine before actually being uploaded into our servers. So even if our servers do get hacked, none of that information will be accessible to the hacker because, as I say, everything is encrypted. So you can be sure that your information is safely stored within our servers. So let's move on to a demonstration of LastPass. So I'll just do a quick, very brief demonstration. So this is the LastPass Vault. So here I have access to all of my websites. Obviously, I don't have to just store passwords. I can store other information as well, like payment cards, bank accounts, driver license information, etc. So it's very easy to use, very easy to access. I can actually launch the sites themselves from the Vault and get on with my work. So before I can enter the Vault, I need to enter a master password. So again, leading back to that idea of having single password. So a master password is going to be that one single password that you're going to use to log into LastPass. And then you can use LastPass's autofill features to actually create passwords and store them for you in your Vault. So the whole time, you're only actually remembering a single password, and that's to access LastPass initially. And then LastPass will do the rest of the work for you. So that's the Vault with all of the passwords that we need to do our work in. Now let's move on to some how we actually share password within LastPass. That's done through the Sharing Center. So we do this through shared folders. So a shared folder is essentially a folder which contains all of the passwords that you need to do your day-to-day work. So let's use a scenario. We need to create some passwords for our engineers. So we've created the folder, we've put the passwords in there, and we can either invite individual users to the shared folder, so we can just invite them by email, or we can create a group of users. So in this case, it would be our engineer group, and we can invite the entire group into the shared folder. We can also control what kind of access they have. So they can either have read-only access, meaning they'll be able to see the password, but they won't actually be able to make any changes to that password within the shared folder. Only me as the administrator of the shared folder will be able to do that. They can also be an administrator of the shared folder, meaning they can add in users or take users out. They can add in passwords or take passwords out. And they can also change the passwords within the folder itself as well. And we can also hide the password itself from the end user, meaning they won't actually be able to see the password at all. So they'll have access to the password. They can, enter that particular site, and it will automatically log them into the site. But once again, they won't actually be able to see the password or make any changes if we make it a read-only rule. So that would be the password sharing. A scenario in this case would be, let's say you've got, as I said, the engineering team, you've got a marketing team, you can set up the folders, you can put in all the passwords that they need for those particular folders, and then you can invite those users. And then if, let's say, someone leaves engineering and they want to join marketing, we can take them out of the engineering folder and we can put them into the marketing folder. So they'll automatically lose access to all of the passwords that they had in engineering, and then they'll gain the passwords that they need to do their job within marketing. So once again, super simple, really easy to use solution to increase that security level. So let's move on to the admin dashboard. So this is accessible to the master administrator of the whole account. They get a snapshot of their organization. They can see how secure passwords are. They can view kind of like users that they have set up within their shared within the account itself. They can see their password hygiene. Now, once again, I'll take it back to the zero knowledge policy. So this means obviously, as a master admin, you can't see what passwords the user is putting into LastPass, but you can see things like the strength of the passwords that they're putting in, the sites that they're using, when they're accessing them, how they're accessing them, etc. So LastPass isn't all about kind of complete oversight of the account. It is more about kind of influencing user behavior and changing that. So how do you influence and change user behavior? Well, you do that through policies. So policies are essentially rules that you can set up. So LastPass has over 100 policies. So there can be something pretty simple like a user can only access LastPass through a particular IP address to more advanced policies that you have in place. So policies are essentially designed to influence that user behavior. So perhaps we've got users with weak password hygiene, and they're using 6 characters, which is very weak for a password. We can set up a rule that will force them to use 12 letters for a particular password. So it's all about influencing that user behavior to let the user themselves improve their password hygiene, and in time that good password hygiene will become a natural process in the user's day-to-day work. So as I say, we don't want to completely control everything. We want to be able to influence the user behavior, so if security becomes top of mind as a natural process rather than something that's forced onto the user. Now, policies also allow you to, you can set policies to individual users, you can set policies to various different groups, or you can set policies for the whole entire organization. So those policies give you that granular control that you need to influence user behavior. Okay, now LastPass also does offer multi-factor authentication. So the way that multi-factor authentication, so traditionally, I mean, there's various ways you can look at this. Traditionally, obviously, two-factor authentication, which is where you enter a password, it sends a prompt to your phone, you click accept, and you enter LastPass. So that's traditional multi-factor. So that's two-factor, aka multi-factor, to log into the account. Now, we've done an extra step as well. So it's something you know, something you have, and something you are. So something you know would be your password. Something you have would be your phone. So you enter your password, sends a prompt to your phone. And something you are is basically using yourself to access that information. So it could be a fingerprint, it could be your face, it could be a pattern on your phone. So you're using some form of biometric to actually access your LastPass account. Now, the way we are moving with LastPass, our goal is to actually eliminate the dependence on passwords altogether. So our goal is to get rid of them. Why do we need passwords? Yes, at one point, they were a great way to secure things, but now the way the world's moving, we don't need them. They're more of a security risk now than a benefit, really. So why not use yourself as a password? So you yourself can become that initial identity marker to access the information you need. So no longer will you be relying on something that you have to remember, you just rely on yourself by being. So you can use, as I say, you can use your vocal recognition, fingerprint, things like that to actually access your account. And then from then on, you have access to all the passwords that you need to do your work. So let's view a demonstration of LastPass. So on the left-hand side, we have the kind of end-user screen. On the right-hand side, we have our phone that we need to access our LastPass account. So here we're trying to log in. So LastPass MFA picks up on that we're logging in, and it gives us our details. So it gives us our IP address from where we're accessing. It gives us our geolocation, where we are. It gives us the time, obviously, the machine that we're using to access. And yeah, so all of that information is there. It's all contextual information, so you have access to that. So we move on to the biometric, which is Face ID. We use the Face ID to access the account. And just like that, we have accessed the account. So we can set up MFA for individual sites, or we can set up MFA to access our LastPass account altogether. Okay, so let's now take a look at what happens if your account gets hacked. So what happens if there is some suspicious activity? So here we have an example. Sorry, just to take it back, LastPass MFA is also adaptive. So what I mean by adaptive is it adapts to user behavior. So let's say you yourself access LastPass within the hours of 9 to 5 within Poland, and that's when you use it. So LastPass will pick up on that user behavior, and it will register that as normal user behavior for that user. So when suddenly, like in this case, you get a login attempt from the United States at 1:47, which obviously, because of the time difference, is completely out of normal user behavior, and it's picked up. The person trying to log in is using Windows 64, whereas we use a different browser, completely wrong IP address as well. So obviously this is a suspicious login request. So LastPass has picked up on that. So not only will it send this prompt to us as the user, that someone's trying to access our account, but it will also send the prompt to our master administrator. So they will also be able to see this. Someone's trying to access a user account, and this is not normal user behavior. So we can reject this login attempt, and that will stop whoever's trying to access that account from accessing the account. And we can, take some precautionary steps to go in and, change our master password, change the passwords that are at risk within our account as well, to avoid this from happening again. Okay, so this is just a brief snapshot into our customer base. As you can see, we have a wide array of customers, from banking industry to the automotive industry. So you might be asking, why do we have such a wide customer base? Well, this is because our products are suited to every business need, from any industry and any company size. This works in tandem with our business approach, allowing us to suit any budget, and also our partnerships, which allow us to serve customers globally. So one last thing I wanted to cover before we wrap up is vendor consolidation. So vendor consolidation is a hot topic right now. So businesses are obviously constantly looking for ways they can cut costs and increase efficiency. And one way to do this is through vendor consolidation. So vendor consolidation, having a single vendor for all of your IT needs and all of your product needs, basically not only increases efficiency, meaning you have everything under one roof, you have one point of contact for all of your product needs. Issues can be resolved quicker because of this. If there's any issues with your account, you know who to contact. All of the products are renewing on the same date, so you know when money is leaving your account to pay for the various products and services that you use. So that increases the efficiency side. It also saves on costs. So basically having a single vendor for all of your products means that you have a lot of assets with that vendor, so that vendor is more likely to provide you with a more favorable price due to the fact that you have so many assets with that vendor, so your spend is already quite high with the single vendor. And as you can see, while we have a lot of competitors, and obviously our competitors can offer a lot of products in many different areas, and collectively obviously they can meet all of your IT needs. However, our company can provide you as a single point for all of your remote working needs. So we have a full 360 suite of products to help you work remotely and obviously help your staff work on a remote basis. So we can help you increase efficiency, and we can also help you cut costs by having everything under one roof and by providing you with more favorable pricing when it comes to bundles and things like that. Okay, that's it from me today. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for listening.